Hello everyone, I'm Jay. This is my garden, and it's a hard mulch life.
It's a hard mulch life for me. It's a hard mulch life for you. Planting, gardening, best we can do.
Hello guys, so today I was going to show you that we were going to be planting Steve, which I've named the branch that broke off of George here when I transplanted him. I filmed the video, but some of the audio cut out. So what I'm going to do, over the parts of it that cut out, I'm just going to narrate. Apologies, but I think it's still good information. So I'm really upset that that happened, but unfortunately you can't unplant the plant and start all over again. Um, but I think it's got some good information, especially if you're brand new and haven't really done much of this kind of stuff yet, like I was 3 months ago. So we're going to be planting Steve. Steve the cutting? No, Steve the survivor. That's what we're going to be doing. Steve the survivor. So I've been debating what to pot old Steve in. Do I use the 5-gallon bucket, or do I go for one of the more larger terracotta pots I have lying around? I don't really know, because I'm not sure how well Steve will do. He could die when I get him into a pot. He could have transplant shock. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, because he's been in a glass container of water for several days now. Well, several weeks now. So I guess all we can do is try. Got some wiltness going on with my regular tomatoes here. George is doing okay, but he's outgrown his net, and Gracie, I think, needs to have her net adjusted a bit. The little one in the back's doing okay, but I think they're all getting a little wilty. Finally starting to get a little warmer here. It's about, what is it, the 3rd of June, I think it is? 4th of June. 4th of June. Well, it's June-ish, we'll say that, here on the eastern coast of North Carolina. Zone 8B, actually. So I think just for the ease of movement, I think we're going to go 5-gallon bucket. The first thing I'm going to do is set up some holes in the bottom of this bucket, which you guys have seen me do before. I'm going to go around and then do one in the center. Just like that. Oh, one more thing to mention in case you haven't seen anything else. See the recycling number right there? Might be hard to see with the sun. It says it's a 2. You want to make sure that if you're going to use a bucket like this to plant a plant, that you want to make sure that it's at least a 2. I think it's 2 through 5, which are food grade, but please check me on that. I'm a brand new gardener and I don't know everything. Now the next thing we want to do is I'm going to add some straw to the bottom of this, which is going to act as a bit of a barrier to kind of help keep airflow and water going through the container into the ground. And also, as it breaks down, it will add nutrients to the soil. It's like everything fell. Had some wind earlier. We've had a lot of windy days recently. Try to make sure that if it's in clumps, like this one was compressed, you want to make sure that that is broken up as much as you can. Try not to get it in your eyes, like I just did. Now, you don't have to use straw. You can use something else. I mean, perlite, vermiculite. But I would use something at the bottom of the container just to help with water and airflow, and mainly so that you're not piling a ton of soil in here. You do want a good amount of soil, but it is important to have this, and this will break down and it will help to add nutrients as the plants grow. And there's something else that straw is very good at, and this is something that I'm guilty of not doing enough, and that is using a mulch layer on top of your beds, of your raised garden beds or your flower beds, even your flower pots. Because when water gets hot, and it's starting to get hot here in North Carolina, that top layer of soil, the water gets evaporated from it. And when that starts to happen, it dries out the soil. It becomes very caked and hard and very difficult. When you water it, it doesn't go all the way through. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So these kind of things, this is a very important thing, because when the water starts to evaporate, it's going to hit this straw. It's going to hit this layer, and then it's going to get a kind of bounced back, because the straw is going to absorb the moisture and then drip it back into the pan. So it doesn't let most of that water escape. Another thing is, it's very bright. So when the sun hits it, you'll get a reflective quality, which helps keep your plants cool. So consider using a mulch layer. Even if you don't use straw, use something else. Unfortunately, I've got to do that to most of my area, because it's something that I was very late at knowing and finding out about. Okay. Next thing we want to do is start piling in some soil. Now I'm going to use two different types of soil. I'm going to use the soil that I normally use, and I'm going to use a little bit of a topsoil mixed with some of my tea that I make. And I'm going to see if that helps give some nutrients back to that soil, because I've been looking at a lot of the soils. And let me tell you something. They're all vastly different prices, which they should be. But I'm noticing a lot of the soils, at least the ones I'm seeing around me, there's so much organic material in it, with broken up twigs and all those kinds of things, like more than there really, I feel like there should be. So I got one of the more pricier ones that's supposed to be specifically for raised garden beds. It's supposed to have worm castings in it and everything else. And when I got it and I opened it up, and it looked exactly like the stuff that I paid $4 for. And I thought to myself, this isn't right. We'll probably do another whole soil thing, because I've seen some people do soil videos before, but they mainly are done in their general area. And some of the soils that they discussed, I've never seen before. It might be just because I wasn't looking in the right place, but I know that I didn't see it in any of my stores locally. But anyway, let's get some soil into this container. So this is just a bag of generic topsoil. And I wanted to experiment with adding that plus my manure tea, and then mixing that up and using that as a base layer. Of course, this may backfire epically on me, so another great experiment, but you know, never can tell how these things are going to work out. So manure tea is just supposed to kind of help add nutrients and organics back into this mix, because this mix is mainly meant to be a topsoil container and not meant to have any real like soil. It's meant to, like, if you have like a big hole in your ground, that's what it's meant for. And that's what I originally bought it for. Now we're going to put my regular stuff in there that I use. Which also, if you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, has a ton of particles in it too. So it's almost like, what is going on? Are you just repurposing the same stuff over and over again and telling us it's better? So that's why I wanted to do this experiment. If something happens to poor Steve, well, if something happens to poor Steve, he was used for the purpose of science. But hopefully he will live. So all I'm really going to do is just kind of mix this stuff up a bit. What I have down there, what I added the manure tea to, what I'm using here on top. I saw somebody do this in another video. He was a homesteader, and he was talking about some of the soil, which is what gave me the idea that maybe I should try something like this. And he was using the same topsoil that I was using. I may need to add a little more to this. You see, look at all this material. This is just crazy, all this stuff.
So it's here that my audio cut out. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding some more soil to the top of this container, because I want Steve to have as much soil as he can to root and grow. And I'm still amazed at how many particles are in some of this soil. This is a little extra fertilizer that I use. It's a bone meal. It's got all kinds of good stuff in it, and I've used it successfully with many plants, including my 2 original beds. It was recommended by a friend of mine. There's blood meal, there's all kinds of things. Many other gardeners on different channels will use various types of things like this. And what I've started doing after I did this video is, when I dig the hole for the plant, and I may have started it on this video, but when I dig the hole for the plant, I've started to put some of this material into the hole so that it's touching the roots as the roots begin to grow, as well as mixing it in with the soil like I am here. Now this is Steve, of course, and you can really see how his root system developed after he broke off the original plant when I put him in that glass of water. And he's been in that water probably about, I want to say a good month, maybe a little over a month and a half. I forget how long he's actually been there. But he was starting to wilt a little bit, so I figured it was time that he needed to be put into some containers so that he had some nutrients beyond just, yes, I am adding the stuff into the opening. I thought I did that here. So this will help Steve hopefully get a little bit of fertilization right on his roots and give him a little extra jump that he needs to survive. When I planted him in, I was surprised how stable he was, given that he didn't have any large reaching roots going out anywhere. But he was really, really strong and standing strong. And it's been, at the time of recording this, it's been about 3 or 4 days since I planted him. All I'm really doing here is giving him a good water, because tomatoes, of all the plants that I have, are very hungry, very aggressive eaters. And I've always heard it said, everyone that I've watched and everything that I've read has said that tomatoes are very thirsty all the time. And you really learn that as you start to grow them.
So for my garden to yours, happy gardening. You guys have a great day.